Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teen safer as they grow, like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, buckle up. Good job.
New Instagram Teen Accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences, like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code LISTEN50 for 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code LISTEN50.
Reusse here with the Canopy Group facts. Fact 1, the Canopy Group writes more new business in 1 month than a captive agent writes in 3 years. How is this possible? Let's share other facts to understand why. Fact 2, the Canopy Group offers 16 different insurance companies, not just one. Fact 3, the Canopy Group offers annual policies, not 6-month policies that can leave you open to 2 premium increases in a year. Fact 4, the Canopy Group offers 1 deductible at claim time, not 2, 3, 4, or even more. Fact 5, the Canopy Group will shop your home and auto insurance with their 16 companies each and every year. Captive insurance agencies only have one company and can't shop for you. You have no options with them. You have plenty of options with Canopy Group. Now that you have the facts, it's time to get options. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com.
Could be just me, Pat, but I think there's strife in the McIlroy marriage. I think there's.
You didn't think that? Well, the fact that he said he was getting the divorce,
that could add to it,
and then didn't get the divorce when he found out that she'd get half. That could add to it. Yes.
Well, what tipped me off was he took the walk of triumph, all the way up to the scores tent. Alone.
Yes, they did.
Alone.
They did have a little hug there.
Very
at the green. Did we exchange a kiss there?
Very pedestrian. I didn't even see a smooch.
Well, you know who the other woman was supposed to be.
Yeah, Amanda.
Amanda, yeah.
But that little poppy seed, whatever the hell her name is, she acts like she's never seen the guy.
Who?
The kid.
The
it's not like she's got her arms open going, hey, Dad.
Not like when Phil used to rent the kids to run
he had
out
a couple he rented.
They'd come out, and they never grew up. They stayed the same age. But
you know, at Augusta, he rented 2 houses.
Oh, really?
One for the wife and the kid and one for him.
So that thing ain't back together yet, though.
Doesn't sound good.
Doesn't sound good. You know what? I go back to Daytona Beach, Florida, when the wife of one prominent baseball player who ended up in the Hall of Fame was sitting right in front of me, and the other wife of a younger player was complaining about his
infidelity,
his promiscuous ways, right?
Yep.
And she said, "Look at this ring.
Showed him the ring.
Look at this necklace.
Yeah.
Look at this necklace.
Yeah.
Look at these shoes.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it."
Wasn't there a line of "let him get his"?
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's a lot of that story that can't be
told, but can't be told. But I say, I say the same thing for Mrs. McIlroy. What the hell? I'll say one thing. Man, he might be the best driver of the golf ball in the history of man, considering his size, his lack of size, and how many times he just pipes at 320 is incredible.
How could he have made that mistake on 13?
What was he thinking? He got away with it on Saturday when he, kind of semi-chunked that one, and it got over the cricket.
And then 2 holes later, makes the best shot of his career.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't have two major screw-ups, first one on opening day when he ends up making 7 for no reason on 15. And that one, he wins by 5-6 strokes, and it's not an adventure. But
this could be a year where he could do the slam. He's won at Quail Hollow about 1 million times. They go there for the PGA.
Oh, he's already okay.
Then they go to Ireland for the Open.
Yep, he'll have the home crowd for that one.
And then where's the U.S. Open? Oakmont?
Port Rush.
Port Rush.
And is the U.S. Open at Oakmont?
Oakmont, I think.
You better hit it straight at Oakmont.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was fun, though, wasn't it?
Oh, God.
Nice little sporting event.
And I was, I got to admit it, I was rooting against Bluto.
Yeah.
Not because of he's a live guy and that whole thing. He takes too long. It takes too long. A lot of them
Not
take
as long as it takes for Justin Rose.
No, I know. But it takes too long. Come on.
Tell me this about Bluto.
I don't have to know within 3 centimeters of how far I'm hitting the ball.
Pat, he's a scientist, okay?
Yes, he does.
He's a scientist.
Thinks he's a scientist.
A guy said to me, this is a great point, Bluto really seems to enjoy it. He loves the...
He decided to become that, yes.
He decided just to become a hell of a guy.
Yep.
And he's into it, and he loves it, and he's talkative. Why then is he satisfied to now disappear from the golf world until the next major?
Yeah, I don't know. It's silly to me.
What is that?
He's wearing the hat of his team.
The Crushers.
He's with the Crushers. How the Crushers doing? They
I have no idea. I have yet to see 1 minute of a golf tournament of Live.
And but he was very unpopular even before he went to Live because he just walked around and
he's changed dramatically.
Stopped around, and every time you saw him, he had 20 more pounds of muscle.
Look at his behavior at last year's U.S. Open.
All of a sudden, he came back and said, I'm going to be a good guy. And apparently, he's an Instagram phenomenon. Because he hits all these trick shots, and the kids love him, the young people.
But now he's willing to just be completely out of consciousness until Quail Hollow.
It is incredible. It is that
I don't get it.
I don't either. It's because he's, if he was playing out here, he wouldn't be poor. That's for sure.
Well, this can't be a money deal.
No, I don't know what it was. Was he feeling bad because he hadn't done something, or
he won the Open of Winged Foot at 2020,
and then finished second the next year, right, or something. Then won it again, or something. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he wants to do that. Because I wonder if he wants to come back. Can he come back?
I don't know. I don't know why. Would he have to give back all the money?
I don't think so. But, well, the Live, that depends on his contract with Live. He wouldn't have to give it back to the PGA or anything. But they're talking about fining him or something. Now I was talking to Hollis, and he said most players don't care if they come back. Mm-hmm. He said Cantley is like never let him come back kind of a guy, and he said there's a few hard.
Well, is it Rory kind of a don't let him back guy?
I think he wants him to have some suffering.
They didn't say a word to each other Sunday.
No, he said I saw that Bryson said he didn't talk to me.
Yeah,
that was what the mindset he wanted to create that day. I wonder what that was.
I don't know.
Is he much of a chatter?
I don't know.
If he's with the right guy.
I don't know. If he was playing with Shane Lowry, he'd be a chatter.
Maybe he wanted to he probably knew his only chance is if he put pressure on Bryson kind of emotionally, and then he started hitting the ball around. Because if he's hitting the ball straight, you're in trouble because he's so far down there. It's incredible. So.
Well, it was fun.
It was a great Masters.
Yep.
It would have been a great one to be at.
Can we have a drill now? Can the Twins have a drill where we're going to teach the pitchers to just throw that little toss to first base?
I said, is there an instructional book?
Yeah, there's got to be something.
The art of a pitcher throwing to first base.
It's not that complicated.
Would that be? It might not be. It might be a pamphlet. But I was at the ballpark today, and guess who I ran into? He was walking.
No fans.
He was walking. No fans.
It's a night game.
He was walking. Yeah, but there won't be any fans.
It was a joke.
5,000. 5,000 real last night. 10,000 announced. I ran into the manager.
Oh.
We had a little 10-minute talk on each side of the fence. And I brought that up. And I said, it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. And he said, I agree with you. I don't know what they're doing. He said it's not instruction. It's yes. And it started when Griffin Jacks, U.S. Air Force, smart, intelligent guy, lost a game by throwing it 20 feet over the first baseman's head with a lob, and it's become an epidemic since then. 2 of them yesterday, right?
The problem is, too, when you watch how they go about it, they're trying not to throw it how they would normally throw the ball.
Throw it
thinking they have to lob it in there. That's
throw it hard to the first baseman.
Yeah. They have to throw it at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Who's the guy who couldn't throw to first?
John Lester.
Well, this is
you would have fined him $250,000.
Any pitcher for the Twins who does this, I'm fining him $500,000.
500.
Well, their patience is getting a little thin, as Jose Miranda found out.
Mm-hmm.
When he
that
wandered
play?
off second base. I'm not going to say who told me this, but it was today. He said,
Somebody you ran into.
Right. I can't tell you.
No, you can't.
But we couldn't put up with that any longer, is basically.
Well, it would be one thing if Jose was hitting, 285 and playing stellar third base.
He was the best hitter in baseball for 3 weeks last year.
Did he have, 17? 12
straight
at bats. With a hit.
He became the second player in Major League history to have 12 straight at bats. He hasn't had 5 hits since. Remember, he had no home runs in the second half of the season.
Pat, I have news for the gentleman you ran into. I think his job's in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think so. But maybe. You know who would be happy?
Rocco.
Well, there's no there. There's no life.
There's zero. There's nothing.
Where's the spirit, boys?
The spunk.
Listen.
Spunk. I like spunk.
I won't say who I said this today.
No, of course not.
But I said, if this is Carlos Correa, you don't have a bleeping chance.
Right.
And this person agreed with
whoever that would be.
Yes,
right.
Whoever that would be. Agreed with
he or
me.
she.
Yes,
the person you ran into.
Could have been an usherette.
He's been a terrible disappointment.
Oh, God. But we keep being told how hard he's hitting those ground balls to shortstop. Yeah. Well, for 100 years, a guy came up, and the shortstop moved to where everything, even the metrics that they had then, told him where he's going to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. And if you hit a hard 4 hopper to him, nobody gave you credit for hitting to the shortstop. Hey, that was 102. Yeah, and it was 2 outs. So,
right.
It's he's been awful.
Well, what are they going to do?
I think they're going to be very lonely. That's what I think.
Draw $1.2 million?
Well, I don't think it'll be. Well, they won't announce that, but it'll be $1.5 million, $1.4 million, $1.5 million.
Pat, there was no way there were 5,000 people there last night.
Maximum. For the Mets, it was a lousy night, but the Mets have some pizzazz to them. They're the Mets. Mm-hmm.
You got some star power on that team.
Yeah, plus they're goofy.
Who's the guy they gave $1 billion to?
Juan Soto.
And he got his second home run last night. He should have 30 by now.
Yeah.
30
That's it.
Kind of money?
I'm fining him for that kind of money.
11-5 though, or something.
Yeah.
They're playing okay. They've been very odd lately. 3 years ago with Buck, they won 101 games and finished second in the division because of Atlanta, right? Yeah, and then they got beat. San Diego beat them in a
division
series.
Yep.
So that the next year they won 77, pretty much the same team, and Buck got fired. Then they brought this guy in last year, and they had a really good year.
But they made it to the LCS.
Yeah, they made it to the LCS and played 6 games against the Dodgers.
It's ridiculously early to write them off. But
when you look at it.
But when you look at what they're putting out there doesn't seem to be a lot of heart in it.
I'm not worried about heart. I'm worried about
talent, something. Work harder if you don't have the talent.
I mean, they called up Brooks Lee to play third, and because there's Savannah Miranda, but he got one problem. He can't hit at the big league level. Mm-hmm. And, Correa's doing nothing, and Willie Castro's playing everywhere, but he's like Edward Julian.
Okay, can I ask you about him?
I don't know. He's a DH.
I don't get it. I really do. I know he had a decent stretch the first time he got called up, but he whines and complains in the batter's box. It calls a fraction of an inch outside of the strike. So I'm thinking, buddy, you haven't established yourself to be that kind of.
He's swinging more though this year, but it's.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is swinging.
Okay,
more, but
he doesn't have a position.
No,
and he's not a good enough hitter to be your everyday DH. I don't think.
Last night, Ryan delivered a game that you could have won.
Oh, God, yeah. He's pitched the last two games. He wasn't great last night. Last time out, he was great.
But that inning that he got out of where he struck out Soto and he got Alonso out, that was a gutsy effort right there. Yep. Just that one inning alone.
I think he's fine. He's healthy. He's fine. And he's a competitor for sure. I don't think their rotation's a problem. It's not great.
It's the lineup.
It's the lineup. And when did I tell you that I hated the lineup? About March 20th.
Yes, you did.
And, Ty France has been their best hitter. Really? Okay.
American League Player of the Week.
That's right. They're trying to help us out. They're trying to get, hey, kids, you want to go see
tickets?
You want to go see the American League Player of the Week? Yeah, what's his name? I never heard of him, so...
Who he play for?
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of him either.
Where'd they get him? They don't have coming in to save the day. Zeev. They don't have a guy like Zeev coming in to save the day.
Zeev
Bouillon tonight. He's on the ice
tonight. Is he playing tonight?
He's playing tonight. You got to be watching.
Yeah.
Because if he plays really good, they'll probably figure out how to get him in the lineup for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Against Vegas.
The playoffs are not a certainty yet, are they?
Well, if they would somehow
lose. If they win tonight, they're a certainty.
Or if they get 1 point.
1 point.
The Duck, they can't. The Ducks suck.
Yeah.
They can't lose to the Duck.
Yeah.
They'll win. But Calgary would still have to get, they can't get any 1-pointers. They got to get 2. They got to get 2 points in each of their last 2 games.
So Calgary has to win out. Wild have to lose tonight.
Lose the
no
game.
Point at all.
And they can't lose in regulation. I mean, they can't. They have to lose in regulation. They're not going to lose to the Duck, for God's sakes.
Yeah, well.
You know who we aren't going to see in the net, though, for a sentimental send-off?
Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury, after giving up 7 the last time he was in there.
Is he going to be on the roster for the playoffs?
Well, he's the only other goalie they have. Yeah.
I was thinking maybe they'd go with the kid.
No,
Wallsted's been hurt.
Oh, he has. I did not know that. Okay.
Apparently they got some Finn or something with a completely unpronounceable name. It was about 6'5", and it looks as good a shape as me. Big fat guy. But he takes up the whole net. He's playing a lot.
Why do we call it? What was the guy? Didn't we sign a guy that was a custodian or something? Remember that a couple of years ago? Mm-hmm. They had an emergency goalie situation.
Yeah, you get that once a year. Somebody comes out of the seats.
Yes.
Hey, we need a guy.
That league was so cheap. They didn't travel backup goalies for decades. The guy, the third goalie was some guy from the suburbs of Ottawa.
Right.
Who would come out and play, unbelievable.
You like the Timberwolves chances against the Lakers?
I like the Lakers in 6, but I think they'll put up a stout fight. Yeah. But, hey, you know what we'll be doing when it's over? We'll be bitching about LeBron getting all the calls. That's what we'll be complaining about, don't you think?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, the Lakers, the NBA's got their choice between, they like us, they like our club, they like Edwards.
All right.
But they got their choice between the Lakers and
yeah, but won't he lay down on the floor and...
Oh, yeah. He's good for that.
Carry on like he's dying. And
his knee is tore up. Yeah. I followed the story. I did not realize it was that long ago, but this is from 2011. The Wild signed 51-year-old goalie Paul Deutsch.
Okay.
In his recreational hockey league, they needed to find a replacement goalie Wednesday night. The 51-year-old embroidery shop owner was going to be suited up for another team, the NHL's Minnesota Wild.
Is it NHL rule that you must have another one suited up?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because he was the emergency backup to starter Josh Harding.
We didn't know at what time of day or something until late in the day that the other guy wasn't available.
So he was signed after Nicholas Backstrom was declared out for personal reasons.
Nicholas, if you're the only other goalie, you can't have personal reasons.
And by the way,
no personal reasons.
The guy had to wear a pair of former Wild goaltender Manny Fernandez's pads because he didn't have any at the time.
Oh, he happened to be in the
Manny
arena?
was done. Manny had retired.
This guy happened to be in the arena.
He happened to be in the area because they were playing Nashville.
I remember that happening back when I was a kid and go to Saints games.
Yeah,
they'd pull a netminder out of the crowd.
Hey, can
Some
you
guy
play?
was a sheetrock guy or something.
I don't know. The modern goalie, now with the pads, obviously it's not as brutal of a job as it used to be when there were big gaps around you. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how, in the way the game is fast and it's combative and crazy, that they see the puck. It's incredible. It's bouncing around, and you're watching on replay, and you can't see the puck. And
In
these guys
that
see the puck.
7-goal fiasco, did you happen to see the Commies winning goal in overtime?
Yes.
That's the fastest shot in the league.
Yeah.
There's not a faster one.
No, that poor goalie had no shot.
That was instantaneous.
This team is, if they get out there and play 3-on-3 with him and Eck and, Faber to some extent, I mean, unreal. It'll be interesting, though, if they put the kid in the lineup tonight and he plays 22 minutes with Faber or something.
Zeev
Buyam, son of Israeli immigrants.
He's a Jewish young man.
Yes, San Diego.
You don't find a lot of Jewish kids in hockey.
He's got his tattoos are Hebrew stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's...
How do you... he grew up in, where, San Diego?
Yeah.
What, they even have a rink there?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got the Gulls, don't they?
That's right.
They got the San Diego Gulls.
Oh, I'm sure they got kids now playing in the suburbs and stuff. But
well, the geography's out the window when it comes to hockey.
Hockey, it is.
You ain't got to be some poor kid from north of the border.
This Cooley that the Gophers had was Phoenix. And, I mean, Tampa's producing more hockey players than we are.
There's a great vibe I've attended a San Diego Gulls game where anytime a Gulls player obtains possession of the puck, the crowd screams, "Shoot!" even if he's behind his own goalie.
Yeah. They're getting there. They're going to figure it out.
I had so much fun. It was a lot of fun going to a game.
Where's that building? Essentially downtown?
Right by SeaWorld.
Well, I can't picture that.
It's not downtown.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not downtown.
Yeah.
I've been to SeaWorld 2-3 times, man. You know what they got there? They got whales and stuff.
That's why they call it SeaWorld.
Yes, right.
It'd be weird if they had giraffes.
Great
It'd be funny if you went and there was
got-
no fish.
They got those porpoises acting.
Yeah, those
goofy.
are called dolphins.
They act goofy, very
They
goofy.
are,
People
they're
laugh a
entertaining.
lot.
They got their Joe whales.
They got whales. They got big turtles. Kids go over and sit on a poor turtle's back. You know? That happens at Como too, right?
I think so,
There's
Pat.
the turtle. There's a huge turtle. They live to be 120.
I think the one at Como is fake.
Yeah, maybe
It's a sculpture.
Maybe
I
it
think.
is now.
Yeah,
but
people
back
think
in the
it's
day,
real.
They live to be 125. You know, when you had that job at the zoo for like 100 years, you kind of say, God, I hope, I'd like to just die peacefully.
Can I just go to the woods?
Can I die peacefully in the evening?
Without a
instead
kid
of
sitting on me?
kids sitting on me? Some little screaming brat yelling in my ears. It's unbelievable.
What are you finding, Reavers? Breaking news?
What's that?
I thought you had breaking news.
No, I was just making a note of something I need to do once we're concluded with the show today.
Paige is going to get the whopping $87,000
Is
from the
that
Dallas.
unbelievable? She's taking a big pay cut.
She made $1.5 million at UConn.
Now, what are they going to do?
She'll continue to get the $1.5 million.
Yeah, I know, but what are they going to do?
Well, they're gonna
with
have to- I don't know what
the
they're
other
gonna do.
players that the league is paying extraordinarily less money than the. By the way, I looked this up today.
Are the new guys going to own the Lynx?
Yes, yeah, they're the part of the deal. And I don't. Taylor was very good to the Lynx. He financed them well, so I'll be seeing if they do the haul. But do you know that Cheryl Reeve is the senior coach in the league by 11 plus seasons?
Really?
They have 12 established teams. 7 of them have new coaches this year, and then they got an expansion team coming into San Francisco, and they got to go. So there's 8 first-year coaches, and then everybody else has been like the last couple of years, and then she's been here for since 2010.
I love when the gals get dolled up for the draft.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times, they're not used to this. And a lot of times the clothes are maybe ill-fitting, and
I miss the baby mamas at the NBA draft. Don't you? I mean, that was fun. That's the only reason I watch the NBA draft, to see the baby. In fact, we stopped bringing the baby mamas.
But see, when's the last time you think Paige had fingernail polish?
Yeah, I don't think very often. No, and the straight hair there. I don't know if I like the straight hair, but
they're it's fun to see them all dolled up because they spend their whole life in a gym.
Yes, right. And they're not, to some degree.
She was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark was Caitlin Clark.
Yes, although she is not the same shooter that Caitlin Clark is. But the rest of her game is better than. One thing she does that Caitlin doesn't do? She goes over and stands in front of people and goes like this. Hey, you, hey, your mother wears combat boots, garden.
Paige doesn't do that?
Paige doesn't.
Oh, Paige does. Caitlin doesn't do it.
Caitlin doesn't waste any energy playing defense. They always give her the worst player the other team has. Yeah. At least perimeter player. Huh. She's tired out from bringing the ball up and running through 8 screens and shooting 30-footers. So.
Won't the league have to get to a point where you're slipping somebody like Beckers a lot of money somehow?
Yes. What if they just say the hell with it?
Yeah. She could continue her social media life.
Well, she actually has another year of eligibility if she wanted to make more money.
Yeah.
The NIL, there's a lot of guys heading to the NBA that were making more money in college too, but not the first rounders. Mm-hmm. The first rounders, at least, are making some money.
Mm-hmm. Well, that you were reminding me. You were talking about the draft, and I believe aren't we almost a week away from NFL draft season?
Yes.
That was one of our funnest bits we did on the ride with Reusse was, which one is the girlfriend? Where they'd show, they'd have the camera inside the house of the player about to be drafted in the NFL, and you had the whole family, and oh yeah, there she is.
And if you had a older African American mother, and the girl looked like, the shorts, she'd set way over.
Oh yeah,
she wouldn't be near Ma. Mm-hmm. I was a witness to that in person once with a local player who had Mom at the draft party. Mom was at the draft party, and this young lady walked in, and she was not marriage material. Let's put it that way. And Mom was not happy.
Why don't you sit in the back?
By not marriage material, you're suggesting
it was a short-term deal.
Yeah, like 48 hours. But anyway,
she was flashy.
Yes, she was, and very short of material on the
clothing.
The covering, yes, very short of material. Yes.
So that wasn't the gal you brought home to Mom.
No, you shouldn't even brought to Mom at the draft party. You should have just told her,
why don't you just wait? I'll talk to you later.
I'll do the draft, and then I'll meet you at the club, and we'll have a hell of a good time.
Yeah.
But we won't sit around here.
You don't want to sit with my mom.
Hot, steamy day.
Yeah.
But the temperature in the room dropped to about 30 degrees. It was freezing in there.
Do you know where it's being held this year, by the way?
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Can you imagine
The NBA draft?
No, the NFL.
Oh, NFL?
Next week, it's going to be in Green Bay, and these rooms are going to show up.
Yeah, tear
they'll
that
be
town
standing
apart.
out.
There'll be 200,000 people.
What is wrong with you people? Do you watch it anymore?
The kids are really into
I
it.
just look at the phone.
It's kind of fun. The first round is kind of fun to watch, but yeah, after that, I say, okay, I'll monitor it.
Ask me if I'm going to
Joe,
watch it.
you know,
I know the answer.
No.
You know that they made the first round all a standalone.
I
And
understand.
it's now 3 days.
No, I understand. I don't watch
What
the
the hell
draft.
is wrong with you people?
I know. Fall comes soon enough. I'll know who's playing for who.
Yes, that's right.
Did you both ever cover a draft?
I had to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we covered.
I
when I
covered
was
the
here.
draft. Who was the little guy with the funny voice? It was their first pick.
Darren Nelson?
Yeah, I covered him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Stanford, right?
Yep.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Nice kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a big draft party. It was a,
Is that the year you cost us a pick?
No,
no, that was way before that.
Paul Howard, was that the kid's name?
Paul Howard.
Paul
And the
Howard,
Vikings
linebacker.
would be drafting.
That was
I didn't do it intentionally.
I don't know. It was an innocent mistake.
well.
Although if I
why-
had known, I would have done
Yes,
it.
right. That's true. Yeah. Hey, you're cheating. I'm a man of high moral standards.
That's right.
If I could have screwed him up, I would have. I didn't know.
Did Bud ever address that with you?
Just with one of those shakes of the head. Yeah. Just
Could you imagine, Patrick, what would
Chloe and Ralphie would have never done that.
Ralphie tried to warn me about it.
Oh, did he?
I mean, after I did it,
After-
and
yeah,
Ralphie
it was
saw
too
it.
late.
He said, "Oh, if I would have known, I would have kept you. I would have taken care of
Could
you."
you imagine what would have happened to him if he had done that today? The Viking fandom would have revolted.
God, you might not be safe.
Oh, God.
Yes. But that was a pretty high third rounder, right?
Oh, that cost him a good pick. Yeah. I didn't want to fool around with a lowly pick.
No, God, I love
If you're
that
going to
story.
caution something, get him a good
Let's
pick.
go here.
Yeah.
And then he had the nervous breakdown in Green Bay. That
I
Bud
didn't.
had
You
to-
keep
Bud
saying
had-
that. I
Bud
did not
had to
have.
rescue you.
You know what? I had a little something going on, but you keep calling it that. I don't know that what it was, but Bud said, "Get in the training room."
Listen, this was your dedication to writing something good. This was a plus for you that you had so much pressure on you that you keeled over. You know,
I didn't keel over, Pat. I was feeling faint.
It was better than when you threw your computer out
I didn't.
in the Silverdome. That was you were mad at the computer.
Now the
that
thing in
time.
Green Bay was the floor was going up
Yes,
and down.
yeah. Hey,
Bud
I
took
was-
one look at me and said, "You got to go in the thing there."
I was close to that Sunday night, almost taking on the emergency room, but
I don't like that.
I'm gonna ride her out one more day, and
Yeah.
see if it gets better.
Yeah.
I was, and then it gets better, and now I got this. 3 weeks?
You always get Reusse throat in the fall.
I don't know, April and
You
the
get it twice
fall.
a year? Well,
Yeah,
you got it
no,
now.
but I don't get it as consistently as I used to. But it's back now for no damn reason.
Tell your cheap newspaper to put the stock tables in and the TV listings back in. What a
don't think-
blank newspaper.
That's
How can you
we
have a
got
business? They have a
issues.
business section with no stock table.
yeah, that is silly. That is silly.
What? Those are the staples.
Yes,
You got a bridge column in this paper?
I don't think.
I
we
think
got
St.
Brad.
Paul still
I
has
don't
a bridge
think- I think it can't still be Charles Gorin. He has to be dead by now.
But this is terrible. They got to have a TV in stocks. That's just.
Stamp. You know what St. Paul always had that Minneapolis did? Stamps.
Oh, yeah, Wayne
Yeah,
Hassel.
Wayne Hassel
Wayne
had the
Hassel.
stamps. We had
Stamp
Hassel.
collection.
Yes.
Didn't we have a bowling, too? Maple
was,
Music.
Wayne was the makeup guy with the green visor.
Yep.
We loved Wayne.
Yep.
And he would put out the paper 4 days a week, but he had one day to do his stamps column.
Yep. And who did Maple Music?
Oh, Shaver.
That's Bobby Shaver, yeah.
Shaver, yes.
But a bowling column.
Oh God, he was something. And we had. This is a coincidence that can never be equaled.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with him in Minneapolis. The extremely odd Clyde Schubert, who
Oh, yeah.
covered the State College,
Yep.
and St. Paul's cover guy who covered the state colleges was the extremely odd Bob Schabert. You had Schubert and Schabert. How is that possible?
Yep. Schubert and Schabert.
Schubert and I had a hard time when I was a copy boy, though, because you were, like on Sunday nights, nothing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get out of there. You're going to get back to PL by midnight, you know. And at about 11:15, Clyde would they used to have the standings, Reavers.
Yep.
That you could cross it 10 rows, right?
Okay.
When it was a 10 thing. And you could look down and see how many they'd won against the team and across and see how many they lost against the team.
Okay.
And it was the most complicated thing ever. And Clyde, about 11:15, would start looking to see if we had any mistakes. And then you would have to go back a week or 2 weeks and you get out of there at 1:30 in the morning. That was very disappointing. Anyway, Clyde was an odd character, too. Good guy, though.
All right, let's go.
That's going to do it for
That's
today.
good.
I think so. He's got the bad throat.
I got to sell a couple of automobiles.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We need to hear about our friends from the Valley Group of GM dealers.
Right there in Apple Valley is the place to be, and they have an incredible number of the Buick SUVs at great prices. The Envision, the smaller one, the Encore RX, and the different models of SUVs. And here's the deal. The interest rates are extremely low, and the rebates are extremely high, and the inventory is extensive right now. So get out there. Tariffs have no impact on this as of yet. The prices are outstanding. And Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, get your SUV out there right now in Apple Valley.